Bankers who do this lose money, and it is not because they mismodeled EBITDA. They lose money because they show up to a default thinking that they have rights, and they find out they have no moves. So the Intercreditor Agreement, that is the document that decides who gets to enforce and who gets to wait, and who gets to watch their deal die in real time. So if you're not reading it like a playbook, you're not underwriting credit, you're underwriting hope. And hope is not a risk mitigant. So what I'm going to ideally do today is I'm going to make the Intercreditor Agreement feel simple, practical, and kind of terrifying because that's exactly what they are. So I'm going to try to answer 4 things in plain English. What is the Intercreditor Agreement actually doing? Where do people get trapped in real life? What is the control lever that you can negotiate? And what questions should you ask so that you don't get outmaneuvered? And we're going to do it with a little mini case the whole time. So think about that. So here's the deal. Here's the mini case. Sponsor-owned cash flowing business. Boring industry, predictable revenue. Thin margin for error though. Now the stack looks like this. There's a $100 million first lien. Term loan, like a bank probably. There's a $40 million second position, mezzanine, private credit probably. And then the sponsor's common equity is underneath. Now, a downturn hits, EBITDA slides, liquidity tightens, and covenants get close. Now, here's the moment that matters. When a default shows up, who gets to drive this process? Because the process is the outcome, and the Intercreditor Agreement decides who gets to hold on to the steering wheel. Intercreditor isn't a legal boilerplate thing. It's a contract between creditors, and it decides 4 things: lien priority, payment priority, enforcement control, and blockages and standstills. And here's the line that you should remember. In credit, remedies are the product. I'm going to say that again. Remedies are the product. If you can't control the remedies, you can have a lien, you can have a note, and you can even have a strong opinion, but you will be completely powerless. And as a banker, that's what you need to avoid, especially if you're in second position. Bankers hear second lien all the time and they just assume, oh, they're just a second in line. That's not the real risk. The real risk is being second in control. You see, when a deal breaks, the valuable rights are process rights. Who can accelerate? Who can foreclose? Who can credit bid? Who can approve an asset sale? Who controls the bankruptcy strategy? Sponsor loves a stack where seniors fight to preserve control, juniors fight to preserve economics, and the sponsor trades cooperation for concessions. This is not bad behavior. That's just how control is engineered. Which side of you are you on? Still as simple. After a default, junior lenders are typically prohibited from enforcing remedies for a certain period of time, 90 to 180 days. So you can be a lender. You can be secured, and you can still be furious. And you can also still be legally gagged while someone else just runs the entire default. First lien says, hey, we want a sale process right now. Second lien says, but a sale wipes us out. The Intercreditor Agreement is going to decide whether the second lien voice even matters. And quite frankly, most of the time, it just doesn't. There are 2 ways to kill junior leverage. You either stop their money or you stop their moves. Payment blockage means borrowers cannot pay juniors after certain defaults. Enforcement blockage means juniors cannot enforce remedies. But here's what actually happens in real life. When payment blockage hits, juniors stop getting paid and they stop being patient capital. They start becoming friction capital. There's things that they can do, right? Even if they can't foreclose, they can still make the deal unworkable. They can obstruct consents. They slow amendments, they interfere with refinancing. So the borrower gets squeezed from both sides, right? The senior is controlling the steering wheel, but the junior is throwing down potholes. So turnover clauses they're designed to stop cleverness. They say if a junior creditor receives money that they weren't supposed to receive, that money needs to get sent directly to the senior lender. Now, the borrower gets stressed in this situation. The sponsor's trying to calm everyone down. Of course, they think, look, let's just pay the junior a little bit, a little something, something, so that they don't get disruptive. Well, there's 2 problems. 1, that payment might be prohibited. And 2, even if you send it, the documents can force the junior to hand it straight over to the senior anyway. So what you've actually just done is you bought drama. You angered the senior and you solved nothing. The most dangerous sentence is junior liens release automatically. Collateral release language is where optionality dies quietly. Many intercreditors say that if the seniors release collateral in an approved sale, then the juniors, they release their collateral automatically too. Senior runs a sale process. They negotiate collateral releases to get the buyer to close. The second lien hates it, but it doesn't matter. If the first lien can release collateral unilaterally, juniors are just passengers. Seniors are in the driver's seat. Sponsors are in the trunk, banging, screaming to be let out. Buyout rights are like the Uno reverse card. They let a junior lender purchase the senior debt, often at a par plus fees after a default, and they can step into control. Now, most people treat this like a theoretical clause, but it changes behavior even if it's never used, because a credible buyout right creates competition for control, and competition keeps seniors honest. You see, if nobody can credibly threaten the senior lender, you don't have a capital stack. You just really have a dictatorship. Deals don't die in bankruptcy, they die when seniors rewrite the rules. So most intercreditor agreements, they let seniors amend their loan documents without junior consent. So seniors don't need to change priority directly in order to squeeze value upward. They're going to do a couple things. They're going to change things like cash sweeps, fees, EBITDA definitions, covenant math, that sort of thing. The net effect is that juniors lose economics. Borrowers lose flexibility. Sponsor trades cooperation for concessions, and if seniors can just change most of the rules, then priority is just a slogan. It's not protection. The intercreditor agreement, you just want to think of it and negotiate it very tightly, because they do not just define a waterfall. What they really define is who controls the process. And in credit, the process is the outcome. I'm going to say that again. In credit, the process is the outcome. The default remedies are the product. If you can't answer who controls remedies, you can't block whom and what happens during a standstill, you're not underwriting credit, you're underwriting a story. And stories don't recover principal. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys learned something. This is Capital Letters. I'm Jesse. If you want to reach out to me, you can go to www.midcapglobal.com. Please like, please subscribe. We do deep dives and some shallow dives on some of these concepts. Until then, go close something.